Hello, this is Module 9 for the video response, the chapter about Mozart. So getting in, the question is, discuss Mozart's Haydn quartets, and why would these two composers dedicate works to each other? And so I'm going to start off with talking about winter of 1781. This is when Haydn visits Vienna. And what he's doing here is he's going to supervise performances of different quartets that are at the Austrian court. And it is believed that here is where Mozart met with Haydn, and there it began a 10-year friendship between the two composers. And uh, with this friendship came influences on how they um, wrote their music. They influenced one another um, in different ways. And so, looking at Mozart before before and even a bit during, while he knew Haydn, he wrote a lot of his works and pieces with an external reason. And what that means is there's an outside source as to why he was writing a lot of his music. And most of the reason behind that was he was trying to complete commissions that he had, and several others were pieces he was writing for his own concerts. And then one more other influence was he was trying to influence future employers to hire him and pay him to write music for them. Most of his life he struggled to financially to get by in his life, and he was constantly trying to find work that he enjoyed and that would pay him very well. But he was a child prodigy. Uh, it's good to know that. So he met up with Haydn around 81, and while he was at Vienna, from about December 1782 through January of 1785, he wrote the Haydn quartets, and there are 6 of them total. And this is completely different than what he's used to writing. He actually didn't have a external source of reasoning behind it. He actually wanted to write this. He wanted to write it for musical Vienna, as the book says. And not just that, but because of them being called Haydn, it's uh, pretty self-explanatory that he dedicated these works to Haydn with the influence he had on Mozart and the friendship they had. Uh, Mozart paid tribute with these quartets. Um, and not even late after these uh, quartets were written and performed, uh, Haydn made some remarks to Mozart's father uh, about Mozart, and he says that Mozart is the greatest composer that Haydn had knowledge of, and that's uh, pretty high for Mozart, with it coming from Haydn. And Mozart, he spoke a little bit about these uh, quartets, the first 3 at least, and he spoke of them as being the fruit of a long and laborious work. So he actually, he had some kind of internal thoughts that go along with these works, and had some emotion behind the pieces. To finish it off, um, talk about Haydn a little bit, and uh, basically his bit with Mozart. He was heavily influenced. He took a bit from Mozart as to his quartet writing, and um, Mozart enjoyed using chromatic lines, which wasn't extremely popular with other composers. They didn't use it as heavily as Mozart did. And starting around about 85 up to Mozart's death, which they say around 1791, Haydn was using chromatic lines a lot more frequently than he used to. But eventually later on he went back to diatonic scales in his works. So uh, to, to basically recap this, they both heavily influenced each other, and Mozart wrote 6 quartets that are known as the Haydn quartets, and it was to pay tribute to Haydn. Thank you very much. I'll see you later.